Hey everybody, it's Brian. It's 9:39 Saturday night, April 16th, East Coast time, New York time. And um, just going to do the video for the week here. I did not do one last week, so anybody was waiting, I apologize, but I just didn't get around to it. I was a little busy last weekend. So anyways, but I'm sure you all lived. So um, just going to run through the pairs here and let you know what's happening um, from my perspective. And Elliott Wave, some of these will spend a little more time on than others, but there were a lot of really excellent patterns, very, very obvious, clear patterns this week that unfolded. So we'll go through some of those here. So we'll start with the Canadian yen. On the 4-hour chart, we had an end of a trend right here. And don't worry about all this old labeling. It just gets in the way. Very clear pattern here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can see right here, we made this high. And then if you look down here at the CCI, we have divergence on the CCI. So this is a classic wave 5 type setup. Long wave 3, down for 4, up for 5. So this, at the very least, is a corrective move that's going to go on for a while. So we had an initial push down. Now we have this move up. This could maybe retrace 100%, 61 to 78%, probably come back up into this area, and then it'll fall again. I missed the initial push down because I wasn't in front of the computer, so I'm going to wait for this to correct, and then I'll look to get back in because this is going to go back up now. So if you got in at this point, you're going to have to withstand a pretty big drawdown before this comes back. But there's definitely some downside potential, and I'll be looking to trade this short. So that's it for that one. Euro Aussie. Most of the Euro pairs have formed intermediate lows and are now heading back up. So here's the Euro Aussie on the 4-hour chart. Again, we had a nice 5-wave move down right here that ended right about here. And you can see you had this strong push up right here. Now it does look like it's going to try to come back down again. Remember, Elliott patterns don't have to be 5. Impulsive moves can be 5, 9, 13, 17 waves. If you read the Elliott Wave book, you'll see they don't always necessarily have to be 5s. So counting really isn't the most important thing. I mean, I put these labels up here, but just because it's 5 doesn't mean a trend's over, and it doesn't always have to be 5. So, but what I see here again is divergence. Make this low. The CCI is not keeping pace. It's showing divergence. So I do basically see 5 waves here. 1, 2, 3. This either could be the end of the trend right here, and this is the first push up, and we're going to come back down and retest and then go up again. Or perhaps this is the wave 5 right here, and we're going to come back down and then up. Either way, we'll probably see a move back to retest this low here around 145.60, and then we'll see a push back up. So this is either a 4 and down for 5, or this is basically the start of an uptrend, whether it's an ABC or a new uptrend. I believe this is going higher. So Euro Canadian's almost the same exact thing. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. We started an initial move up, pushing back down, and I expect it to go back up again. Euro Dollar. I think this may have a little bit more downside to go. We may push back down again on Euro Dollar, and then we'll correct, and then we'll continue down. I think the Euro Dollar is in more of a long-term setting to go way down with some dollar strength. So even though the other Euro pairs are pushing up, Euro Dollar is a little bit different. And so again, I think this is in an initial move down. So I think this will go down again for a wave 5. we'll have a correction, then we'll continue down. So again, the next trade on this would be for wave 5 down to probably at least retest these lows. And I think we're probably in a wave C right now, so we may go up a little bit more, and then we'll shoot back down here. Again, we've got divergence on this low right here. But I do think the euro dollar, unlike the other two, unlike the euro CAD, euro Aussie, and euro Kiwi, those three, I think is still in a starting a pretty significant downtrend based on the daily chart. But it's late in this first move down. This is essentially probably a wave 1 of a much larger downtrend, okay, off the daily chart. This move here is probably, like I said, a wave 1. So we will come down and correct up and then continue the downtrend, say for wave 3. So picture this as a wave 1 of a much larger move down. Okay, so up, down, correction, and then down. Correction for wave 2 from the longer time frame, and then correction down for wave 3, which should be pretty sustained. So euro Kiwi pretty much the same as the euro Canadian, euro Aussie. You see this triangle, and pretty much my prediction was it would come back to the bottom of this triangle, which is exactly what it did here. And so I believe this is probably the end of the trend right here. And much like the other euro pairs, this is probably going to go back up. So we had divergence here. We made this low. And this is probably going to be the end of the trend. 1, 2, 3, 4. This little bit probably will finish out. And then we'll see a correction to the upside here. So I'd let this finish, retrace. Back to here, and then probably, if you're going to take a position, I'd be looking to go long here on the euro Kiwi. Euro yen, similar again. We're on the daily chart right here, and the CCI has not formed divergence here, so this one's a little bit less clear to me. So this is a potential 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so we do see some divergence here on the lower time frames, but not on the daily. So a little bit less clear here, but I do believe this is potentially forming a bottom. So if I had to guess on this, it would probably move back to the upside based on the divergence on the lower time frames. But keep in mind, we don't have it on the higher time frame, so I think ultimately this will continue down because of that. But we may see a small correction up before this downtrend continues. So, Kiwi dollar on the weekly chart, looks like we might be finishing an ABC here. So, this is the weekly again. So this is a very long time frame, but we do have some divergence here on the daily chart. On this uptrend, you can see it. On the weekly chart, again, this is possibly an A. Then we have a flat B. So here's your A. Then we have an ABC for B as in the form of a flat correction. And now we're up for C. So be on the lookout for a potential resumption of the downtrend in the Kiwi dollar. However, I'd wait for some fundamental confirmation before I would take a short, though. Okay, so Aussie dollar. So this either, to me, looks like the end of an ABC, or if you just ignore all this over here, go to the daily chart, we have divergence on the daily chart. So just extend this a little bit. Sorry, my chart's just catching up. So we've got this bearish divergence here. You can see it. So we've got 5 waves in place on the daily chart. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I believe that the Aussie dollar is going to turn down for a very significant downtrend. In fact, I am short this pair. I got in short on Friday, somewhere about here. And so it is retracing a little bit, but I expect that we'll get back to these highs and then we'll continue to the downside. So again, longer term top in place on the daily. We also saw it on the lower time frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 5 waves in place on the 4 hour. We've got 5 waves in place on the daily. We've got divergence. So this one looks pretty sure to me that it's going to have a significant downfall. So Aussie yen. Kind of the same thing. Here we are on the 3-hour chart. We pretty much have what I believe is a top in place right here. Now, it's possible that this will go back up again. Again, like I said, these pairs sometimes can have 7 waves on these impulsive moves. So this could be a 6 and then up for 7, or this is a 1 or an A, and we'll go up for B or 2 and then down for C or 3. So if you're not already in this pair short from say around here, I would wait for a retracement and I'd look to go short. I have a pending order sitting here. I didn't get in at the break here, so I'm not going to get in now because it's going to go up. So my pending order is down here. In case I'm not in front of my computer and the bottom drops out, I'll get filled, although it won't be a good fill. But I will be watching this for a retracement and then looking to short it once it gets back up into this area. So again, looks like a very clear pattern. 1, 2, 3. The 4, 5 might be right here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This might be it. But at the very least, this is the beginning of an A or a 1 down. So I believe the Aussie is going down. So let's see, U.S. yen. This is the 2-hour chart, and I believe that this is a wave C in progress. We've got a perfect 5 waves here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down for B, up for C. So U.S. yen is probably going up. The U.S. dollar in general looks like this may actually turn out to be a much larger up move. This might not be an ABC. This might be a 1, 2, and then we'll go start up for a larger wave 3. So again, no matter how you really count this, whether I have it labeled as an ABC, but either way, this is going back up. So I am bullish on the U.S. yen. U.S. Canadian, excuse me, U.S. Canadian. This is the 4-hour chart, and I believe this is in a wave 4, so it's a little bit behind some of the Elliott dollar pairs, but I have this labeled as 1, 2, 3. This is in a 4, and we'll go down for 5. And you can see why I think it's going to go down further. You have this low we made right here, and the CCI made a new low, so I don't believe that this downtrend is over yet. And this may actually, right here, might be the end of the correction. I'm not sure. Right here, it might have started. We may have just had an ABC, and you can see the CCI going down compressed and heading down. So this might have been the start of the wave 5 right here. I'm not trading this pair right now. Once it finishes this pattern, I'll look at it again. So U.S. Swiss. Again, in line with some of the Elliott dollar numbers, I think that dollar pairs, I think we're in a larger uptrend here that's starting. We made this bottom here. We had divergence in this most recent down move. And I believe this is in a wave 4 of this up move. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll go up for 5. Then we'll correct. So the next trade on this is either take a long wave 5 or let the 5 play out and then maybe look to trade it short on the correction. So, but this is a pretty obvious clear pattern here. Okay, so, and this just looks like a nice long choppy sideways wave 4. And it'll take some news or probably something to kick this back to the upside. This may have been the start of it right here, but we'll see. As long as it stays below these highs, then this is just going to be choppy, sloppy, sideways action. So I'll be watching it, but not sure if I'll be trading it at the moment. But again, when we mentioned way back here on the euro dollar, heading to the downside, but in a correction. So, of course, the U.S. Swiss is the complete opposite of the euro dollar. And so whatever one does, the other one's going to do the opposite. So that certainly would suggest as a correlated pair that this will go up. So, all right. Getting down to it, pound dollar. On the 2-hour chart here, we're in a possible wave B. And so this is not actually, like I said, I've said this before, it's not one of my favorite pairs to trade. But I think we had a completion of a trend here. We have an A, or up for B, and then we'll probably go down for C. So again, with the dollar rallying and the pound being kind of mixed signal, I do believe that this will head back to the downside. Pound Swiss on the daily chart. This looks to be in a wave 4. I believe this move is a wave 4 up, but I do believe it will go down again. We're starting to get divergence, so I'm not expecting this to be an extended wave. If you go to the 3-hour chart, it looks like we're ending a trend here on the 3-hour chart, this little up move. Now, sometimes you can get these corrections that actually look like trends. So, we could actually see this trend end and then that wave 5 start. Even though this looks like a 5-wave pattern, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we go down. It's not a typical ABC, so, but something to keep an eye on. But I do think the next move on the pound Swiss would be to the downside. So, pound Aussie on the 1-hour chart looks to be a wave 5 in process. That's going to come down a little bit. The daily chart is showing divergence. You can see it on this down move. So, however, on the weekly chart, I don't see the end of this down move yet because there's no divergence here. Maybe just a tiny little bit. So, I do think that we got a little bit more downside here to go on the pound Aussie, and then we're going to probably see this bounce to the upside. And there is some potential Aussie news. And as I was saying before, the yellow Aussie pairs look like they're going down, which would push this one up. So I do think we're heading towards the end of the trend. We've been holding this trend line very well, just kind of bouncing along it, heading down. I think that's coming to an end, and we probably will see a push to the upside on pound Aussie. Pound Canadian on the daily chart. Again, looks kind of similar to the pound Canadian. We've been riding this trend line down. We are seeing divergence on the daily chart, which is suggesting that this downside move at least might be over, at least temporarily. It actually may have ended, because you see here down on the 1-hour chart, we had this move up. It cleared all these highs. So I think this is a move up, and we're retracing now. Now, whether this is an ABC or whether this is the start of a new up move, either way, I think it's going up for a while. You can see the CCI really responding to the upside here. So, and you can see the divergence off these lows. You see the lows here, and you see divergence here on the CCI. So my guess is that, I don't know if you guys heard that, but anyways, my guess is that we'll see this come back down, possibly retest these lows, and then bounce. So if you're not in this already, I'd be looking possibly to get back in, but not right at the moment. There's a lot of pips here, and you don't want to get caught too much drawdown, but pound Canadian is going up. So, let's see. My chart is going to load here. This is the last pair. So this is pound yen, and this looks like it's in a wave 4. It's a pretty nice clear pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I have this labeled as a potential ABC. We did have this pretty significant downtrend, so either way, I think we're going to go up again, and then we'll have a correction down. So the next trade in this pair is to the upside for either a wave 5 of C or just a wave 5 of this uptrend, and then a correction to the downside, and then we'll see what happens after that. So, but up for now on the pound yen. I don't know if I lost my internet connection. It's not updating, but it's the last pair anyway. So, all right, and take a quick look at your. Make sure you take a look at the Forex calendar. A lot of red here, starting right on Sunday night. We have this oil summit, and so this really could international summit to discuss oil prices. So all your oil pairs, your commodity-based pairs like the Canadian dollar, Kiwi, Aussie, could be affected by this. Sunday night we have Kiwi CPI. That's very important. Monday night you have Aussie monetary policy minutes from their last meeting. This, could be one of the catalysts to push the Aussie down, depending what those minutes come out. We have more Aussie news coming out on Tuesday with RBA Governor Stevens speaking. Euro news on Tuesday's EEW. We've got various pound news with Governor Carney speaking. Bank of Canadian Governor Paula speaking on Tuesday. So a lot of bank heads are speaking. The GDT price for the Kiwi on Tuesday at some point. Pound news on Wednesday morning. This is very important. Crude oil inventories. Sometimes this has an effect, sometimes it doesn't. But this would probably affect the Canadian probably more than the U.S. dollar. But pound retail sales. This is going to be really the big highlight of the week for the euro minimum bid rate ECB press conference on Thursday. So this right here is the highlight from the week right here. Fed manufacturing and unemployment claims for the dollar. These really have not been showing much of an effect on the dollar. So although they haven't been red, unless there's some massive deviance from the numbers, I don't expect to see much from that. We have a bunch of Euro PMIs here from Germany and France, flash PMIs. They have these in orange, but depending how they go, those could be important though. And those come in Friday morning Eastern time. And then to round out the week, this is an important one for the Canadian dollar. Friday morning, core CPI and retail sales. So those are important. So take a look, as you go through each day, take a look at the patterns, see, where the pair is, where the currency is in certain pairs at the time that these news reports come out, and, try to draw the correlation that way. Okay, so that's what I do, and hopefully that'll work for you. So that's it, guys. I hope you have a great week. Make some pips, and we'll talk to you soon.